Guys, I want to share some of my risk management tools that I've come up with for myself. Please don't laugh at them because some of them might seem kind of stupid, but they've really worked for me. The very first year I started day trading, I'm in year 4 right now, but the first year I started, I lost between $11,000 and $12,000 that year. I was losing a lot of money. So I started making cheat sheets for myself. I came up with this little go for green and red for stop when I trade too much. So I'll go over that with you. This actually really works well. And then I'm going to show my cheat sheets, obviously that, and just to kind of let you know the hours that I trade, and I limit my trading, and that's part of my risk management as well. So let's dive right in. I'm going to keep this kind of quick. It's a little weekend workshop. I know everyone's trying to get ready for the week. So let's get right into it. All right, I've shown this a million times. Don't get bored if you've seen it. I'll go over it real quick. This, because I lost money, and this is the year, 2024, I started making this in 2023 because I lost so much money in 2023. So you can see I had to set goals. My goal for 2024, I decided, because I had lost so much in 2023, was just gonna be $50 a day. You guys, I was trying to hit 1,000 a day. I was trying to hit big numbers. I saw YouTubers all driving their Lamborghinis and flashing all their fancy gold chains. And I just started getting crazy thinking, oh, I need to do big numbers. Well, guess what? I decided that didn't work for me. So it's $50 a day in 2024. I didn't quite make it. I think I did about $24 a day, 25, but I improved. And then 2026 is this year that we're in right now. And my goal is 200 a day, and I've been pretty much hitting it. Now I'll start increasing share size here. I've been trying to very slowly, just increasing a little bit. So by the end of the year, I'm feeling comfortable going into 2027, hoping to try to make 400 a day. And you can see how much that is per year. And then this is my age over here, what age I'll be at that point. Well, you guys, I want to day trade all the way till I'm probably 75, 80. So I realized I could slow down. It's okay. So that has helped me a lot. All right, let's look at number 2. The other cheat sheet I made was my brain isn't good at math. I'm just not good at math. I've owned a business for 30 years. I've done my own investing for 30 years, but I need a calculator. Well, I don't have time to sit down and figure out share size and all that. So what I did is I created this little cheat sheet. Let's see if you can see that. And what it does is it just tells me the amount of shares. This was after I started increasing my share size. I wanted to be able to calculate this out. So it tells me the amount of shares on the top, 200, 300 shares, 400. And then this is the amount I'm trying to get. So if I'm scalping for 5 cents, I keep this and all these cheat sheets under a tiny piece of glass. And it's right where my mouse is, and it's right next to my hand. And I can just look and glance in a second and see. So if I see a stock moving and I think, oh, I just want to try to capture 10 cents, and I think I'll risk, I'll try getting 300 shares, I just start really contemplating and think, do I really think it's going to move that much? Because if it isn't going to move that much, it might drop that much, or it might drop a lot. And sometimes that keeps me out of a trade. If I see how much it could actually drop down, sometimes I look at that and go, yeah, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that much, and I'm not that confident in the trade. So this, I know it seems stupid and I should probably do an RR and all that. I don't care about RR. I just care about, can the trade handle the amount I think it's going to go, or the amount I think it could drop based on off the lines I have on the chart, support and resistance. And those support and resistance lines are another tool that I use to see how much can I let it drop, how much can I let it go up. So this has helped me a lot because my brain can't think and multiply. It just can't. So that helps. Okay, let's move on to the next one. I do trade futures, and you guys, I trade a lot of different instruments in futures, and they all have different values for each point of movement and each tick of value of movement. Well, I can't do it in my head and be jumping from gold to oil to ES, YM, all of them. So I made this cheat sheet, and this shows me the instrument right here. So it would be, these are the micros, and then those are the mini contracts. So you've got the MNQ, the micros, or the NQ, the minis. And it tells me what the tick value is. So if something just moves a few ticks, because I have my bracket orders set for tick movement, And then that tells me how much the point value is for an entire point of movement. And it also tells me how many ticks are in each point, because each instrument has a different amount of ticks per point. I can never memorize all this. Now, there are people out there who've been trading forever. I know you're all brilliant. You're wonderful. You're Einstein. I'm not. I never will be, and I know it. So I create cheat sheets because it helps. These are all laminated. They all sit under a piece of square glass, and they all line up and fit like a little puzzle under this piece of glass. And that glass is where I have my trading journal, and I have my mouse right next to that. I literally can just look over and see all this. All right, cheat sheet. Now, when I'm in Trader Rehab, the best thing I ever did for Trader Rehab, you guys, is I got 2 bowls. I happen to have these in my kitchen, tiny little bowls. One is red and one is green. Green is go. And guess what? There's 5 quarters. 5 quarters. Take 5 coins, any coins. I chose 5. You could do 6, maybe only 3. This means that when I'm in Trader Rehab and I turn on my laptop and I get my trading screen up and I see something running and I want to take it, but I'm in Trader Rehab because I've had some bad losing days, I take 1 quarter and it comes out of the green bowl. I pull it out of the green bowl and it gets put in the red bowl. It's sitting on my desk right here. And I literally just take it from one side to the other side. Now I can get in that trade. Let's just say it's NVIDIA. I can trade NVIDIA. I could trade NVIDIA all day long. That quarter is just for NVIDIA. That means I get 5 stocks to trade the whole day. It's it. You know what that does? It makes sure that once I take that NVIDIA trade, I think, oh my God, I only have 4 quarters left. I can only trade 4 more tickers the whole day. I better make sure that the trade is worth taking a quarter. Because once the green bowl is empty of all of its quarters and all those quarters are now sitting in the red bowl, I'm done. And I can only trade those 5 stocks the rest of the day. And you know what I used to do when I'd go really red? I would probably trade like 6, 7 tickers in pre-market. And then market would open and there'd be all this movement, but I've lost my ass in pre-market. Well, now I don't do that. If I ever have a bad day and I feel like I need to go back to my quarters, I just pull this out. I put 5 quarters in the green tub and I sit, and every time I take a ticker, it goes in there. So that, you guys, I swear to you, try it. It's amazing. Now, you can't cheat and use your quarters and think you're just going to go and take another trade. You have to stick to your rules. All right, so let me see. I have some notes right here. I want to see. Oh, the other thing I do is if I'm in Trader Rehab, I take 4-day weekends. I don't trade on Fridays and Mondays. That brings it down to 3 days a week. I only know I have 3 days to make money, and I have 5 tickers I can trade. That way, I get plenty of rest on a 4-day weekend. And then it actually makes me trade better on those 3 days. I don't know what it is. It may not work for you, but it works for me. All right, the other thing I do, and I do this regularly anyways, I only trade a little bit in pre-market, just a little, and usually it's large cap stocks and they have to run on news or earnings. And then I trade just for an hour and a half right when the market opens. The first 30 minutes is usually my large caps are running, and then so I can just trade the trend. And then the last or the very next hour is when those stocks usually start to trend, and they'll form support and resistance. Once they run up, they baseline, right? You run up and then it just goes sideways, and then usually it'll come down a bit later. So I trade that trend, or the range. So I'll trade from here to here and then back down. And then, so that only gives me about 2 hours in the mornings that I'll trade. Then I go take a walk. It's a 1-hour walk every day to clear my head. I do this every day. This is not just in Trader Rehab. My head gets cleared. I come back, I have a little breakfast, I come back and I trade Power Hour. Power Hour, I only trade for 1 hour. It's literally an hour. Power Hour can be a little different, the start time and stop time. You got to see what stocks you trade and when they run a lot. I trade larger caps. I live on the West Coast, so Power Hour is usually, I'll start about 11:15. Sometimes I'll start watching at 11. I'll sit down and eat lunch, but I'll watch the charts and just see if anything's running, if we're getting momentum coming in, volume, news, whatever. All right, and then immediately after Power Hour, I make my my recap video, post it to YouTube, and I go for another walk. I want to clear my head. It's usually only a 30-minute walk, and I just clear my head. And I live in a condo, so neighbors are out with their dogs, and it's just good to get away from the charts. Let's see. The other thing I do, I always journal my trades. I am old-fashioned. I'm old school. I have a notebook. This is set up. I wrote keys swing because I've got a swing trade for keys coming up. I've got to keep that fresh in my head. This is Monday. And I'll literally just put the ticker symbol here and then my final dollar amount, profit and loss, and notes. What was the news? How was my mood? Was I tired? The other thing is I never trade when I'm tired. I might sit down. If I don't get enough sleep, I might sit down for 30 minutes. And if I see that I'm not trading well, done for the day, I just walk away. If I'm tired, if I'm sick, if we just went to war yesterday, if reports come out, the financial reports that come out about unemployment, wholesale numbers, if anything is weird or bad and the market is chaotic and stocks aren't all moving in tandem, I'm just done for the day. I don't need to lose money. There's so many days to trade and so many tickers to trade. I've just learned that those bad days that I have are usually caused by bad reports, over trading, being tired, being sick, having too much on my mind, distracted, what have you. All right. And then I do not chase. The other thing I do not do, one, risk management. You will see me chase once in a while, but I chase on really heavy news that is so good and that stock's at an all-time high. I will chase it, but very small share size, really quick scalps in and out. I watch the spread because when I'm chasing and it's going up and it's already at an all-time high, it's gonna dump. I guarantee you that is your best time to short. When it is hitting that all-time high, NVIDIA, AMD, any of them, eventually in the morning, it only goes so high. It will. It's only going to go so high. And then it starts coming down. People are taking profit. That's when I'll start scalping short. All right. The other one, spreads and volume. I always look at the spread and volume. If I'm scalping for 10 cents and there's a 20-cent spread, I am not going to make money. That's 40 cents round trip. I'm just not going to make money when I scalp really fast in and out. I need to go, when I'm scalping really fast in and out, I need to make sure I'm on tickers like NVIDIA. They always have a 1-cent spread. The worst spread NVIDIA will have when there's a little bit lower volume, like really midday, is going to be 2 cents. So I always look at volume and spread. Volume has to be high. I've been trading my standard basket of stocks for so long. I know they're good volume. I know at what time of day I can look at NVIDIA's volume and I know if that's good or bad. So that's another important thing to look at. All right, you guys, I've just checked my list. That's all I wanted to talk about. That's risk management and my Trader Rehab. When I am in Trader Rehab, it's 3 days a week. It's very low share size. It's using the blue and green bowls. And I get out, as I get out of Trader Rehab, then I'll come back up to share size and come back to full days of the week. The other thing I have, one more thing, my total max loss per day. Very important. This is the last thing. I have a max loss per day. I try to keep it at 250. So last week you saw where I had gotten to about 200. I try to keep it at 250 to 300. I got to 249 and I realized my total max loss for the day is 300. Right when I got to 249, I had to hunker down, lower the share size because I did not want to get past that 300. So 200 to 250 starts being a yellow light for me. I start pulling back on share size. And many times you've seen where I will just stop trading when I have a loss of like 20 bucks or even $5. You've seen some of my trades, I'm down $1 and I just move on to something else. I just try to keep that loss so low. Otherwise, if you go back and watch one of my videos, go back 2 months ago, I was down over $2,000 in one day. And I tell you right in the video, I wrote the word gamble in my notebook right when I was trading. I just wrote tilt in big letters. And then I wrote full tilt. That was the last time I've been like that, where I acknowledge it and just kept going for it. I know I can't do that because I'll blow my accounts. So you guys, let me know what you think about my little systems there. Let me know if you have any tips that you use because I can add them to my arsenal, to my tool belt. I would love to. All right, guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye.